Hello, welcome to the call. We're really excited to have you here. We've got some phenomenal information to share with you. We're excited about that. My name is Fred Bender. I am from the area of Atlanta, Georgia. And what you see in front of you is the word Kalina. And it also says right below Kalina addressing the problem of food insecurity in America. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about Kalina and how it's going to address the problem of food insecurity. Kalina's vision is to address the problem by becoming a solution. They will do what others have identified as needing to be done, but they've never been able to achieve it. And what's that? It's to develop a business model which provides access to clean, nutritious, and healthy food to those people who are food insecure in and around food deserts in America. Now, what is this? I've given you two terms, food insecurity and food deserts. Well, what is that? Well, food insecurity basically means that a person does not have consistent access to healthy, nutritious food. And many of these people live in food deserts, and a food desert is merely a location, a community where there is no stores, there is no food co-ops, that these people have no access to clean and healthy, nutritious food in that community. And so to try to get that food, they have to go outside of the community. They may have to drive 4 or 5 miles away, right? And if they don't have a car to drive, they got to hire a Uber or something. And if they don't have the money to afford to do that, they have to catch a bus. If they don't catch a bus, they just have to eat whatever's there. And because what's there is not healthy and nutritious, now they're in trouble. Let's get an idea of what this really looks like in America. According to Google, 23.5 million Americans were food insecure in 2010. In 2017, that 23.5 became 40 million Americans were food insecure. And of those 12 million of those were children. And that's big. That's huge, guys. In 2019, 38 million people were food insecure. And I decided, wow, if it's that bad all over the country, what is it like in my state? Well, in my state, 2 million residents were food insecure. 500,000 of those were children. And interestingly enough, just in the metro Atlanta area alone, there were more than 35 food deserts. This is a big deal. The reason it's a big deal is because the effects that being food insecure and living in a food desert has on your health is huge. Consider, again, my friend Google says, right, that the effects of living with food insecurity are obesity, anxiety, depression. We know depression kills. I mean, people depressed, they commit suicide. I mean, it's just they can't hold down jobs, many things. Risky sexual behavior, of course, that leads to different STDs, right? Not only that, but then you have negative pregnancy outcomes like low birth weight, gestational diabetes. I mean, you have diseases like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, asthma, anemia, cancer. The list goes on and on. Those health issues, guys, are a big deal. Here's why. One reason is that right now we're living in the age of COVID-19, right? And what we found is that COVID-19 is hitting Black America disproportionately harder than any other group. And the reason is because before COVID came along, Black America was hit disproportionately harder by food insecurity and by diseases and illnesses that were directly related to food insecurity. Now, you may not believe me, but let me give you some statistics about how hard COVID is hitting Black America in this country. Here's some details, right? Here's some data. Louisiana is 32% Black, and yet 70% of the deaths from COVID are the Black community. Michigan, 14% Black, 52% of the deaths from COVID is in Black America. Mississippi, 38% Black, 71% of the deaths in Mississippi are from Black America. Alabama, 27% Black, 54% of the deaths in Alabama are from Black Americans. It's because of the underlying health issues, because we don't have access to clean, healthy, nutritious food. And if you're listening to this presentation, depending on where you are, many of these people, pastors, may be in your churches right now. Not only are the health issues a problem, but if we look at the 2019 Hunger Report, the cost of these health issues were estimated at about $160 billion. And the article I read said that this figure was on the low end. So not only is it attacking us health-wise, but economically, it's a big deal right now. So we have choices as a community, and of course our churches are key in our community. So we have an option. We can kind of wallow in the negativity that's going on. We can say, well, let's just, sit back and wait for this to pass and then keep moving forward. And I would urge you not to do that. I want you to just kind of check some of these headlines, right? Headline here says, coronavirus shows England's urgent need for social care reforms. We are finding that the same thing is showing in America. It's like COVID has pulled away a bandage, right? And you can see the wound exposed. And that wound is social issues that directly relate to food insecurity in this country. And then other headline, U.S. addresses impact of COVID-19 on poor, right? Now, here's what we can do. We can look at the negativity here, and we can know that something needs to be done. And then we can sit back and say, well, let somebody else do it, or we can take a step forward and say, we'll do it. That's what Kalina has done. Kalina has come up with a process, with a strategy, with a plan to actually do something about food access, about making sure that the people in this country have access to clean, nutritious, healthy food. This pastor in the middle of the page says COVID stands for Christ offers victory in disaster. Meaning no matter what the storm, you can look at it as being destructive, or you can look to see what's the message in this storm that we can use to make things better. What is the message? See, we can't say that everybody's struggling, everybody's not. Listen, 15 small businesses thriving during coronavirus, right? They're not waiting. They're doing something about it. Amazon adds $24 billion during coronavirus. These companies are being proactive. We as a people, we as an organization, Kalina, the churches, the communities, it's time for us to look at the impact that COVID is having, look at the underlying health issues, and now is a great time to do something about that, right? Do something about it. Now, going back to Kalina's vision again, address the problem by becoming a solution. They will do what others have identified but never achieved. What's that? It's to develop a market model which provides access to clean, nutritious, healthy food to those who are food insecure, to those who live in and around food deserts, right? So if we can do that, now what we're doing is creating a pathway where people can develop a strong immune system to fight off whatever the virus, whatever the disease is, but also become healthier. Isn't that the goal? Kalina has a two-pronged approach to this. The first prong is identify food service-based companies and develop strategic alliances with them. By doing this, it will enable them to become key in a food distribution process that brings authentic, real, healthy, nutritious food to the community. And the other prong on this two-prong approach, identify households in and around food deserts and allow them access to healthy, nutritious food at discounted prices. That's where our church organizations comes in. We want to lock elbows with you to help your members, your households, become accessible to food, to healthy, nutritious food. And not only help them become accessible to that food or help the food become accessible to them, but also be able to do that at discounted prices. So more of them will be able to afford the food that's there, that's good for them. All right, so what we'll do, we'll talk more about the food-based companies later, but we're going to focus on the households. Now, what Kalina's goal is to identify and register 10,000 households as part of the Kalina Food Buying Club, right? And of course, again, we're going to do this by partnering with you, by partnering with the churches, by partnering with additional households, by partnering with the community, right? And then making the food producers offers that they just can't refuse. So the benefits of being part of the households, being part of the food buying club, right? There's two main benefits. The first one is our membership, our food buying club members will be able to get standard food discounts, right? Everybody can get standard food discounts, but don't let the word standard fool you. Our standard discounts are less than the retailer's wholesale price. So let me repeat that. Our members' standard discount is less than the retailer's wholesale price. So what the grocery stores get at wholesale to sell to you retail, our members will receive standard discounts less than their wholesale. That is huge all by itself. But in addition, we have volume discounts where if our members purchase volumes at silver, gold, or platinum levels, they can earn an additional 10 to 20% discount under the standard discount. So being able to save a large amount of money on purchasing wholesome, nutritious food is one of the major benefits of being a part of the club. The next benefit is rewards. If we lock arms with you as a church and with your members as households, here's the other part that your households get. When your households help us share the word about our buying club, let's say your household share the word with five other households who join the buying club. And guys, it's so simple. To join the buying club, just $10 a month gets you in the buying club. And let's say they share the word, 5 households join. Well, you know what? 5 households is the minimum. For the sake of this example, let's say they've got 8 households in, right? Now, that person that bought those 8 households in would get a 2% rebate. Here's what it looks like. 8 households purchases $300 worth of food that month. That's $2,400 worth of food purchased in volume. That person who bought on board those 8 households will receive a 2% rebate. That turns into 48 points. That happens 12 months in a year. That's 576 points that they receive that year. What can you do with those points? You can take those points and you can use it to purchase additional food. So that's like you've got 576 rebate points. Dollar for point, you can buy $576 worth of food for those points. So it's like getting $576 worth of food for free. Let's say you share this with 10 households. Now you get a 5% rebate. So now because your household, you shared it with 10 households, they came on board, you get now a 5% rebate. So as an example, let's say you had 15 households. These 15 households purchased $300 worth of food. That's $4,500 in food volume. You will get 5% rebate. That's 225 points. Now, if you do that 12 months, that's 2,700 points. You can literally take those 2,700 points and you can trade it in for $2,700 worth of food from Kalina. What could you do with an extra $2,700 worth of food? Right? Fill up your freezer, fill up your cupboards. You've got food to share with people who are needy, homeless people, or people at the local food bank. You can donate back to the community. I mean, that gives you a lot of options. There are people that you know right now that could use this food. You get to give back. Or if you need money, you can literally take that 2,700 points and sell that back to Kalina, and they'll give you 50 cents per point. So that's another $1,350 in your pocket. So this is what our households receive, right? You get the deep discounts, then you get the volume discounts, then you get the rebate points. Now, what's in it for the churches? Guys, we really need you guys as a church to lock arms with us and help us move this campaign forward. Because we know many of these people out there who are living with food insecurity and living in food deserts are part of your congregations. And so if you help us reach them, we've already told you what they get out of the deal with the discounts and so forth. What do you get for helping us? Let's look at this chart. Let's say in your church you've got 2,500 households, and those households simply purchase $250 per month worth of food. That volume purchase is $625,000. Normally, if this was made possible by a salesman, that salesman would get 0.65% of that volume, that purchase volume, which translates to $4,000 in commissions. But because there's no salesman involved, Kalina then can donate that back to the church. They can donate that back to the church, and the church can then use that to help the membership there. And if you look at the chart here, I mean, it goes on down. If you've got 5,000 households, 10,000 households, those numbers get bigger and bigger. What could you do as a church with donations like this to help the membership in your community? And that's not all. That's just one part of it. The other part is the rebate program. Just like the households had a rebate plan, the church also has a rebate plan. The only difference is the church's rebate plan is a 7% as opposed to the households 2 and 5%. So as a church, if we look at the same 2,500 households, if their buying volume that month is $625,000 in purchases, and remember now, that's just at $250 worth of grocery purchases, right? So $625, you get 7% rebate. That's 43,750 points. And you can use those points to actually purchase food. Those points equals food. So $43,750 that month, you can turn around and buy $43,750 worth of free food with those points. And if you looked at that on a yearly basis, that's well over $520,000 in free food. What could you do if you're a church and you've got a food bank? If you're a church and you're feeding the community, what could you do with $500,000 worth of free food? And listen, you can go down the chart and you can see how those numbers add up, guys. Help us help you give back to the community, right? In addition to that, Kalina has a community foundation that as we do business, as we work with you as a church, we will then take additional funds and be able to work through the community foundation and contribute back to your community. And you get a chance to see there, if we bring on board 250 businesses that purchase $50,000 a month in food, our foundation rate is 0.005%. That contribution that we make back to that community is $62,000+ that month. So Kalina is trying to give back to your community, trying to give back to you as a church, trying to get back to your members as our members. We are here to work with you to help people out there who are food insecure, people who are unhealthy, who don't have access to clean, healthy food. And we can make that happen and make it happen at discounted prices. So summary, real quick. Summary for households: deep standard discounts for all members, deeper discounts for volume purchases, rebates that equal free groceries or even cash, and become food secure, right? And all for $10 a month. For churches, help your members become food secure. That means you're helping them to become healthier. Generate thousands of dollars worth of free food, generate cash donations to use to help those in your community, and all of this at no cost to the church. All we ask is that you help us help your church members and your community. You know, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've got. And if you're unhappy with where you are, if you know that we can do better, then we should do better. Kalina is the only company that I know of that has a plan. Everybody else talks about it. Kalina is about it, but we need your help to make it happen. So please get back to the person that invited you here, that shared this video with you, and let's lock arms together to make things better for your church, your members, your community. Thank you very much.